Joining us this half hour, the City Commissioner from Battle Creek, Lynn Ward-Gray. Good morning, Lynn.
Good morning, Richard.
Thank you for your time today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate all the efforts to get information out. I appreciate it.
There will be some opportunity for public to comment on various things at the Commission. We'll talk about that before our time is over today. Our intent, of course, to start off today was to talk about Dr. Velma Laws-Clay, whom we lost recently, and a special observation that really will live on and honor her, won't it?
It will. I just want to invite the entire community, anyone who has worked with Dr. Clay. I know it's gone way beyond our borders in the work that she did. But I wanted to just invite everybody out. We've got this unveiling coming up. We've got a street sign, an honorary street sign, named for Dr. Clay. It's Honorary Dr. Velma Laws-Clay Way. And that's coming up on October 11th, so your timing couldn't be better. October 11th at 2 p.m. And it's going to take place right to the side of the family home, because we're really celebrating not only Dr. Clay, but the Laws family and just the power of neighborhoods. Because the historic Willis Commons, where we'll be at the corner of Graves Avenue and Hubbard Street, has a lot of history behind it. And so we're going to get a little history lesson on that, and we're going to lift up, of course, Dr. Clay. And at the same time, because she was very civically engaged, we're going to do some voter registration on the last day that you get registered voters.
That is the last day, isn't it? Yeah. October 11th, that's right. She, give us some examples of your experiences with her, and you knew her and worked with her, and you observed her in action.
Yes, definitely. Every year there's a Sojourner Truth Day, and I've been participating in those since I've been part of the commission and even before that. And so the NAMBPW, the National Association of Negro and Business Professional Women, always are involved with that program, working with the Historical Society of Battle Creek. And it's just in working with putting that together with her, or just being a part of attending and being a part of the program. She's always gracious. She was always gracious. She was always thoughtful, always had this huge, huge smile whenever you worked with her. And she wanted to make sure the history of Sojourner Truth was preserved. And I don't think that our city would really know Sojourner Truth the way we know Sojourner Truth if it hadn't been for Dr. Clay. Not only do we have this beautiful statue welcoming everyone who comes to Battle Creek at a major intersection in our city at Capitol and Main, but we also have a bust of Sojourner Truth in Washington, D.C., and now we have curriculum for Sojourner Truth. So we were in the schools, which another one of our community icons, Dorothy Height, was making sure that that information was getting to the school children so that they would know who Sojourner Truth is. So not only was she an advocate, but she was an educator as well. Lynn Ward-Gray is here from the Battle Creek City Commission. We're talking about Dr. Velma Laws-Clay and her impact on our community. We're back in a moment on WBCK. We're here with Lynn Ward-Gray from the Battle Creek City Commission. We're talking about Dr. Velma Laws-Clay. You know, it is interesting that you would think that when you have a connection to history like Battle Creek does with Sojourner Truth, that it's just automatic that these connections get made. But Dr. Clay made us realize you got to make sure they are, and sometimes they're not. And sometimes they're not. That's so true. I realized when I moved back to Battle Creek, and the statue was already up, I moved back in 2001, that there was a lot of things missing. I mean, she kind of filled in those gaps for a lot of people that really didn't know her. We know Kellogg Company, and we appreciate all the contributions that the Kellogg Company, Kellogg Foundation have made and continue to make to our community. I personally identify with Sojourner Truth. She was an advocate for women's suffrage, for the ending of slavery, and for just, civil rights and social justice issues in her time. And I mean, this was unheard of for an African-American woman to speak out against those issues at great risk. And so I was just very moved by the work that she was doing. And I wanted to just be up alongside Dr. Clay and just try and soak it all in as she, did her thing in our community.
And we presume that was her motivation to say, hey, listen, we have connections here with this story and this person.
Yes.
Don't get too caught up in your daily routines that you overlooked at.
It's very true. When I first understood that there was going to be a curriculum aligned to it, and really, I just want to give a shout out to the Historical Society of Battle Creek, who are really with the Sojourner Truth Institute as part of them. Made sure that they were working all together in sync to make sure these things happened. When I understood that was also part of the mission that Dr. Clay had, and actually there's some additional information to record all these things that are going on even beyond that. So there's education that she created on Sojourner Truth for the school districts, but she's also hopefully the legacy will continue through her sister and the efforts they'll make with the Historical Society of Battle Creek to write it all down and really cement it even more.
Right.
And so I just wanted to say hello to Vivian Laws-Ritter, who's listening out there, and Count Laws, the siblings of Dr. Clay.
Right. We're all not going to be here long enough to make sure the stories keep getting told unless these things we're getting written down and documented.
That's it.
Are there other ways you saw Dr. Clay affect the community?
Well, and another thing that I didn't mention before, although she's got a lot of history with Sojourner Truth, is she was the equal employment opportunity officer at Inouye Federal Center for many years. And I really worked with her a lot during that time when she would put on different events and programming with her role in that office at the Federal Center. And so it was always a joy to attend those events. And again, she was very thoughtful in the way she picked the events, the topics, the speakers. And it was just, she was very, very, very thoughtful in the way she operated in our community so that everybody could feel a part of it and be welcomed to come and enjoy the information, learn, and just spread that information beyond themselves.
We're here with Lynn Ward-Gray from the Battle Creek City Commission. Back in a moment, we'll give you those details once again about a special observance of Dr. Velma Laws-Clay on the 11th of October, next week already. We'll get to that in just a minute. A few more minutes this hour with Lynn Ward-Gray, Battle Creek City Commission. Dr. Velma Laws-Clay, obviously a very important figure who helped us recognize our connections and our history in Battle Creek. So this special sign unveiling happens on the 11th.
On the 11th at 2 p.m., the corner of Graves and Hubbard Street. And it's an honorary sign designation. We in the community, as city commissioners, can do that occasionally when we have a person who has made just significant contributions to our community. And at her passing, it just came to me that this would be a great way to honor and recognize her for everything she's done, lifting up that history of Sojourner Truth and so much more. So, again, the public is invited to come out. If you are a young person who's going to be 18 on or before the November 8th election, then come on out and get registered if you're not already registered, and do it in the spirit of Dr. Clay and her civic engagement. And then we also will have some speakers there. I mentioned Vivian Laws-Ritter, as well as her brother Count Laws, Dr. Clay's pastor of Second Missionary Baptist Church, Reverend William J. Wine, who's also my pastor. And we also will have someone who created the historic Willis Commons, and really the sign, and really kind of knows about that. If we don't have that history, then Vivian will give that history kind of the neighborhood, because we just need to come together more. And I think that whole family, Dr. Clay really believed in bringing everyone together, no matter who you were, what part of town, what you did for a living. She wanted to really lift up being together and being a stronger Battle Creek. If we learn from each other and built off of our strengths together, we can just be so much more powerful. So 2 p.m., October 11th, Tuesday, October 11th, come on out. We really want to see you out there. And got a few surprises. I'll give you a little hint. The sign is in the color of the Western Michigan University. So it's brown and gold. And it's beautiful. It's actually beautiful. I've seen it. And she received 3 degrees from Western Michigan University, so we thought that would be fitting.
Okay, and I'm sure they appreciated that too.
Yes.
The Broncos did. All right, this required the usual path that the city commission takes for such things, doesn't it?
Right.
So you couldn't just go make up the sign and do this.
I could not do that.
Yeah.
I'd like to give a shout out to all the city staff who've worked with me on this, and to the city manager, who's also going to be speaking that day, as well as Brenda Hunt, who's going to be coming out and speaking, saying a few words about community. And at our August meeting, we unanimously, August 9th, 2016, unanimously voted to move forward with the honorary street naming for Dr. Clay.
All right, very good. Speaking of meetings and opportunities to comment, there are some of those coming up. There are a couple. We have one coming up on October 12th from 6 to 7:30, and this one's going to be about the adult business request to restrict adult businesses from the Dickman Road bid. They sent us a request for that. So we're looking for the public to weigh in on that with staff. So if you'd like to come down to the Department of Public Works at 150 South Kendall Street on October 12th, 6 to 7:30, you'll have an opportunity to do that. In addition, just before the commission meeting on October 18th at 5:30 p.m. in room 302A, the city commission will be taking input. There's always an opportunity for public comment during that segment, but the city commission will be discussing at that time and getting more feedback from city staff on the animal ordinance that is being proposed. Some changes are being proposed to that, as well as urban agriculture. So if you want to speak on either one of those, that would be the time to come down and listen, learn, get the information. Go on our website under the planning and zoning tab, the department, and get a lot of information and feedback on urban agriculture. That's already on there. The survey results that have been collected, some synopsis from the different roundtable work sessions that have already happened. So educate yourself on this subject, and then bring any of your comments to that meeting on October 18th. All right, and those, of course, those details are listed on the city website, too. If you're driving along and saying, wait, I can't write that down, just go ahead to the City of Battle Creek website, and you'll find that. battlecreek.mi.gov. What's Lynn Ward Gray's perspective on this adult business proposal? This is, my sense is, this is what cities often go through when they have an area that is already spurning development or on the verge, or you expect burgeoning development, that these things come up. They do, and we appreciate not only the bid, but citizens getting involved with the conversation. As you know, at our meeting, you may know, at our meeting on Tuesday, we exempted massage therapists from this consideration.
And I think that was definitely the right thing to do. I'm willing to hear. I really like to take in the information from the citizens before publicly giving that information.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate the engagement from the Dickman bid on this issue.
All right, so check the city website for those details and comment if you'd like to. And, of course, the Dr. Clay event on October 11th, 2 p.m., corner of Hubbard and Graves. Thank you, Lynn.
You're welcome.
We'll
Thank
stay
you
in
again.
touch.